Okay, this is part two of the faucet install. Okay, we'll take the faucet with those two nuts that we talked about earlier and come over to the sink, set it in, and then we'll put the nuts on the back of it, and I'll show you where the nuts go. Now, we don't have the luxury of being able to show you all of this once it's up against the wall, but because we can, I'll show you so you'll know when you're doing it blind, you'll know what you're up against. So you screw it on like that, and I'm not looking, I'm just screwing it by feel, but it'll go. Take your time. Don't use a tool on it because if you do it gentle with your hand, then you'll be able to uh, be gentle enough not to do damage. And you don't want to damage the threads because if you do that and you're working and then you got to go and get a whole new faucet. So there you go. So it went on there, and that's how, and that goes. Then the supply line goes on afterwards. So we're going to pause and then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you how to do the PO plug install. Okay, we're back. Now, the PO plug, the way it works is that top portion just simply screws off. I'll take this part off that I showed you a little bit earlier. We'll take that off. And just to get it in, and this little rubber piece that's here, that stops the water from being able to leak from the bottom. And then you tighten that nut, and that brings it all together to make it waterproof. Okay, now you take the PO plug and you stick it up under the bottom through, and you take that nut that we screwed off and you screw it down. There, tight. And you take the PO plug and you make sure that it is from the front. You see how it's turned, how that's there. Make sure that's turned around to the back because that'll represent going to the wall once it's installed. Now we have the luxury of not having it installed, but you can see it from the back. And this is the way it looks from the back. It comes out, and then the faucet will connect through the PO plug stem, which is this. Will go in the back of the faucet here, and this extension goes on here. Now, mind you, I'll be doing this from the front. It's a whole lot more difficult, but this is how it looks when it's installed. And this is the easy way to do it. If you got a brand new faucet and you're able to put it on before you do your install, it's a lot easier. Now I'm just going to screw that so it won't fall, but that's basically the way it's going to go. And now that part I showed you earlier, that's the stem for the PO, the pop-up on the PO plug. And I should be already lined up. It'll go there. I've got to tighten it. And we'll get that tightened up. But we'll put this in. Make sure it goes up and down. And then we'll just tighten that nut on there. Like so. Right. Like so. Okay. And once you get that tight, just kind of snug it so it won't leak. About right there, but not so tight that it won't move, but tight enough so it won't leak. And then this stem goes into this extension here, and that's what makes it go up and down, up and down. So we'll have to be doing some manipulating because again, this is not your standard install. because it's not a standard vanity. It's taller, it's different in a lot of ways. So, but what we're going to do is I want to show you how to put that little clamp on that I talked about earlier, because that could become an issue later if you're not familiar with it. And that's this little uh, piece of metal with those holes in it. I almost call it just a little gadget, or what's the name of, when you don't know the name of some things. But it's actually just a compression, a fitting that you can squeeze, compress it, and then it locks on to that. And I might be a pretty rudimentary, but I want to be very elementary about the install so people can understand what you're doing. Okay, so this is how it goes. This goes on, and it'll be going straight up, and you put this part first, then go through there, and then you squeeze it together, and that's how it holds like that. And I'll get it installed properly. We're gonna have to do some manipulating here because here again, this is a little different, but that's basically how it goes. So thank you, and we want you to, if you got any questions, put it in the comment section, and hit that like button, and hopefully this will help you, and subscribe. Praise the Lord.